Heyo, what is up guys? I hope you all are having an awesome Tuesday. After making my last tattoo video and going back through the meaning and symbolism behind my first tattoo, I started thinking about my coming out process and all that sort of stuff. So thought now is a better time than any to finally make a coming out video. So here we go. I didn't know I was gay when I was younger. I always knew that I was a little different than most of the other guys. But like I played basketball, baseball, soccer. I did all that sort of stuff, but I also loved doing things that are stereotyped as more feminine things. Like I was in a couple musicals. I loved horseback riding. It still is like one of my favorite things. I did Irish dance for a little bit and stuff like that. But I still never associated that with like, oh, maybe I like guys. Unfortunately, we aren't born with a little envelope. It's like, oh, straight or gay. So I think growing up in the American society, it's you're straight until proven otherwise. And so I didn't know if I was straight or not, but I never even questioned it. Until probably, I can't remember if it was 7th or 8th grade. We had to watch a video, like a health video, one of those where like the boys go in this room, girls in this room. And I kept replaying this in my mind before I started filming this, trying to think of what the actual video was about, but for some reason, and this sounds wrong, but I don't know why I would remember it then. I think they briefly mentioned like a transsexual person. I don't remember. It seems, I don't even think that, I don't know if that's it. Whatever. Something like that. And I looked at that and for like a second I kind of did one of those like, what does that mean? And kind of like freaked me out for a second, and then I started thinking, I'm like, no, I like being a boy, I feel like a boy, I don't feel like a girl, I just feel a little bit different. And so I started paying a little bit more attention to how I was with like girls and how I was with boys, and I noted, then I started realizing, oh, I think I do have a crush on him. And right around that time, I had my first like real kiss with a girl, and it was like, where are the fireworks? Where's like all this stuff? Oh my God, it's crappy. You know, where's all this excitement that everyone talks about? Because it wasn't there. And I thought, well, maybe, okay, maybe it's just I don't really like her. Maybe it's everyone is exaggerating this, making it sound awesome, and it's really nothing. But I think by the time I started high school, I had never actually like said it out loud, but I knew at least I was attracted to guys. Whether that meant I was gay or bi or whatever, I hadn't even gotten that far mentally. But when I went into high school, I like took that as an opportunity to like reinvent myself. I was not the most popular kid in the world in middle school. I was a little chubby. I had braces for most of it. Rough time. So when I went to high school, I wanted, I like lost all this weight, and I wanted to be popular and cool or just like everyone else. But in order to protect myself, I turned into one of those people who pointed out everyone else's flaws to keep attention away from mine, which isn't something I'm incredibly proud of. So yeah, then in high school, I had my first boyfriend junior year of high school. He was very confident and all that. I was not. I don't even think to a single person. And we dated for a couple months. And then it was Valentine's Day. I, had made up some lie about going to a friend's house or whatever. I had just printed like a Valentine's Day note instead of getting a card because I don't know why. My dad is very talented with computers, so I erased it, saved it as a blank document, deleted it, ran out the door. Because at that time we just had a family computer, and I came home and both my parents were sitting in the family room with the thing that I had printed out from my boyfriend. And I guess it had reprinted or something, so they went in there and it was sitting in the printer. And I was not even comfortable with it myself, let alone comfortable enough to talk to my parents about it. So I was sitting there in silence, just shaking, and they had asked me what it was. And now there's how it actually went down and how I perceived it. It felt very aggressive, an aggressive move on their part. And I just played dumb. It's I don't know what that is. No. Went upstairs, called him, broke up with him and said, we can't see each other, we can't talk to each other. And that's when I started mentally screwing myself up. Both my parents are fairly religious, Catholics. So obviously in the back of my mind, you always associate oh, well, they're religious, so they believe what the church says, and that says they won't accept me or whatever. And that thought had gone through my mind up until that point, but after that is when the just complete and utter fear set in and really exacerbated all of those thoughts. I did a real number on myself. I went completely back in the closet to the point where I was teaching myself again to like girls. And I didn't talk to another guy. I didn't even, like, my brain didn't even register on that level. I started college. I tried to date another girl. And weirdly enough, it had gotten to the point where I wasn't bothered day to day by the whole process. It wasn't on my mind. It wasn't until I drank. And when you have that one cup too many, it would be like the most powerful rush of emotions I'd ever felt. Like, I don't cry at sad things. I think the only time I actually cry is like one tear of joy. I just have never been a crier. I don't know. But those nights I would go back to my apartment and sob to the point where I would be in pain the next day because my whole body had been contracting. And I convinced myself that my parents were the worst people in the world. How could you not love your own child? I had played up the tiniest errors that they'd ever made as parents. If once they're done paying for college and if they don't like it, that's fine. I don't need them in my life. Whatever. It was not a good time in my life. And then I finally dated talked to and started dating another guy my last semester of college. And that didn't work out, whatever, and then I started dating someone else from home. And when I moved home for 6 months before I went to med school, none of my friends were home, so I didn't know where I was going to say I was going to go when I was going over to his house. So finally I just started saying oh, I'm going over to his house. Still, there was no conversation. They said, okay, I will go, I will come home, and whatever. I wasn't super mad that was where we were at. And then once I had been home, probably for 3 months, my mom came in my room and basically was like, so tell me about fill in the blank. And we had a conversation, and she said, we didn't want to pressure you to coming out to us, whatever, so we were waiting for you to come to us. And as much of a that was, I was pissed because all the crap that I put myself through was for no reason. They had said that they had talked to a specialist when they found my Valentine's Day note and asked how they should approach me and whatever, and that's what they did. I think that specialist should be fired, or they didn't do exactly what she said. Because I don't think ambush, are you gays, is usually a good way to go. But yeah, I told her, obviously she told my dad, and it was still really weird. But then I think it was maybe the next day, as I was on my way out the door to go to work, my dad had asked if I wanted to go grab lunch. Obviously, I knew what we were going to talk about because my mom clearly told him. And we went, and of the two, he was always the one that I was more concerned about. And we just had a conversation, and he's like, you are my son. You are a good person. I love you, and whoever you love does not define whether or not you are a good person. And he's like, that's what matters to me, and we love you, we support you, whatever. It was great. I do wish that we would have had this conversation years ago, but it was great to finally be at that point. So then, later that week, I had asked if they wanted to go out to dinner with me and my boyfriend, and they said yes, and while it was awkward, it was a huge moment. I can still very clearly picture in my mind sitting there and just like, it was almost like an out-of-body experience. Like I just wanted to like get a snapshot of what was happening. And in trying to play this role and be this person that I wanted everyone to see me as, part of that package was being straight. And it's funny looking back at it now, because I think I came off more gay when I was trying to not be, versus when I finally was comfortable with myself. A really big moment. And then my last boyfriend, he met the other side of the family and all this stuff. So now I can finally say that I'm out. And it's odd to even think that I used to be uncomfortable with myself. Besides the mental stuff that I put myself through, I was extremely fortunate I was never bullied. I have never been called an F, at least to my face. I've walked down the street holding my boyfriend's hand and never have had anyone say anything to me. And I am incredibly grateful that that is the case. I can't imagine going through the mental part inside yourself and then on top of that have to deal with crap. Huge props to those of you who do deal with crap like that. You are a stronger person than I am. If there's one thing that I learned through the whole process, is don't use stereotypes to induce fear. I very much stood on and based my fear off my parents' religious practices. In some circumstances, that is why some parents, I guess you can use that term, don't support their kids because of their religious beliefs. But I didn't have enough faith in what they had shown me as parents thus far, how much they love me, all that stuff. Instead, I just went with, oh, we're Catholic and Catholics don't like gays, so you don't like me. I have a very diverse group of friends, and no one cares. And I think the more people you come out to, and you realize that most of the time they already knew, and they don't care. The more people that you see that from, the more confident I became in the human race. For those of you going through the coming out process right now and finding it overwhelming and questioning your self-worth and feeling alone, I want you to know that I care if you're around. You may not believe me because I haven't had the pleasure of getting to know you personally, but I would like to. Most importantly, I want you to be around to be able to experience the pure and unadulterated happiness that you feel when you fall in love for the first time. Your soulmate is out there, and most likely sad because they haven't found you yet. So, if you are having a rough day and you need someone to talk to, and you feel like there's no one in your life that you can talk to, please message me. The link to my Tumblr is in the description box below. You are not an inconvenience, and I will do everything in my power to help show you that all of this will be worth it in the end. And of course, if you're at a critical point, please reach out to one of the thousands of resources that are out there. There are literally people sitting by a phone right now waiting for a call to help you through this. And we all want you here. We all want you around. I love you all. I hope you are having an awesome day, and I will see you on the other side.